Okay, so I just finished up this audiobook. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. This book has just blown my mind open. I have, I grew up with the core beliefs that I have. I got them from my mom and dad, and the be an honest thing and to be painstakingly honest with people is been my mode of operation the whole time I've been in business. Okay. And I've had some situations where I'd gotten taken advantage of. And I actually felt like I was really naive. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm street smart, but in other ways, I feel like that I have been easily manipulated by guys that know things that were in this book. A lot of the things that are in here, I've learned them through other self-help books, and I've learned them through the sales process, like not outshining the people that you're working for or working with. You don't want to outshine them. You don't want to be the brighter light than them. You need to put the focus on them. And it's their moment. They're buying their house and stuff like that. This is when I was in the real estate business for a long, long time. I've learned to never tell people things that they could use against me at some point in time. And normally it's just silly, stupid stuff. But I've just learned that, friendships come and friendships go. You have a certain set of friends when you're growing up. You have another set when you're raising your kids. You have another set when the kids are gone. You have another set if you're in the business world, and then friendships are conditional. It's just the way it is. They say you're lucky if you die and you have 5 friends, 5 true friends. And then what's a true friend? Well, you have to define that, and I believe that I have 5 true friends, but and they do anything for me and I do anything for them. So that's where what most people call a friend, I call an acquaintance. But there's a lot of acquaintances I would do a lot for, and they would do a lot for me. But the friendship thing is a deeper thing, where they share things, then you share things with them that you wouldn't tell anybody else. Looking at the chapters here, because my memory's not the best, always say less is as least as you can about stuff. Let's say somebody comes in the room and they've wronged you, and you're in a situation, you just keep it to yourself. It isn't going to matter what you say to them about it, stuff like that. So, but here's where I've gotten taken advantage of, because when you're painstakingly honest and you tell people exactly what's going on, what's what, you become very, very easy to manipulate, because when they ask you a question, they already know the answer. And that's where I've had problems in the past where people needed my reputation to do some stuff that they shouldn't have been doing, and they manipulated me in a way that is it's actually embarrassing at this point. But the whole market crashed anyway. It didn't really end up mattering in the long run. But I look back in my history and I think about things where I've just you already know what's going to come out of my mouth. You don't need to ask me. So people that work with me for a while and were in like a lending position where I'm borrowing money from them to do renovations and stuff like that, and they're able to get more money out of me at the end of the closings and things like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It talks about avoiding the infection. The infection is unhappy and ungrateful and people that just aren't bringing anything to the table. Got to stay away from them. That talks about this. And the book name is actually The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. You want to show things through your actions, not through arguments. You do things through your actions and not doing arguments. This is the part of the book that I don't like, and I think it's good versus evil. Okay, so one of the chapters is pose as a friend, work as a spy. So that's never been a part of my DNA. I don't know. Now, when I'm talking to somebody and we're talking about real estate stuff, I'm always keenly aware of what they're saying. Most of the time, people will talk about deals and they're not going to go after those deals. They can't go after the deals. They don't have the capability of doing the deals. So I would listen to them, and a lot of times I'd go scoop up the deal. I'd give it a few months or whatever, see if they're going to do it or not, and then I would scoop them up. It says select honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Crush your enemy totally. If you're going to crush your enemy, you need to crush them totally. So again, this is a book that I read because one of the authors, or one of the guys that's really successful on YouTube, I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Hormozy. I can't remember who it was. But I went through this book and I don't know, it's been an epiphany. Let's put it this way. Use your absence to increase your power. In other words, don't make yourself too accessible to people. The less that they can get access to you, the more important you are to them. If they can't get access to you in a very easy, then they think you're very important. Do not isolate yourself so you don't know what's going on. You can't build fortresses and live inside the fortress and then expect to understand what's going on in your kingdom. Do not commit to people. It says don't commit to people. You play a sucker to get a sucker. So if somebody's got an angle on you and you realize it, and you play stupid and you play that game right back on them. Again, most of this stuff, it doesn't. This is me saying, "Gosh, are you really kidding me? I can't believe they write books like this." And that chapter talks about a guy who misled a whole bunch of rich guys about gold, about a diamond mine in the West. And what he did is he told them what he found, and then he took them in all these crazy directions and took them out there. And this is the wild, wild West before there were roads and stuff. They couldn't find a place. And then he showed them where he was digging, and then one of their guys dug this up, and it was some diamonds. Okay, and there was a fair amount of them. So they had gotten a hold of about $12,000, and they planted those diamonds. Then what they did is they got these guys to fund and to give them some money up front, like $200,000 or $300,000, and they bolted somewhere, bought all kinds of raw diamonds, went back, put this stuff in place, got these guys to fund this, and they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with them, and they finally agreed upon a crazy amount of money for the day, which was about $700,000. Now they wanted like $5 million, and these guys were going to take advantage of them. So they agreed to it. So they got the $700,000. They went and picked their diamonds up and scooted out of town, and they suckered the suckers. The suckers these guys were bloodthirsty businessmen who would take advantage of anybody, and they knew how they would act because they had a reputation. So that's what this book teaches you. I don't know what to think about that. I don't think it's cool, but it is what it is, right? So, I think it's good to know this. It's good to know what's going on. I never really thought about it. I never thought that books like this existed. It teaches you how to play on people's need to be in a cult-like situation, and how to build a cult-like environment. It says make your accomplishments seem like they were effortless. Play to people's fantasies. Master the art of timing. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. So here's what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm growing. We're growing this company and taking it to all the different new locations in our area. It's a brick and mortar business. It's not an online business. Now, we're doing it in a couple of different ways. We're writing some books and showing people how to do what we do, and how to start with nothing and make a bunch of money and build an empire. Also, how we used the junk removal business to build up money and to go into the demolition business, and also just how to use the junk removal business just to go into whatever business you're in love with. Because if you go into business with something that you love, you're going to be really good at it. because you get up every morning and you're like, you're crazy. You just can't, you're super excited, and it's just, you never work another day in your life. And fortunately, I'm such a scavenger, and I grew up in such a way that that's what this is for me. I love it. 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 But at the same time, I feel like, I'm 60. I could live to be 61. I could live to be 91. With the new technologies and the new regenerative health and so on and so forth, I could live to be 100. So there's a couple things going on in my life. One is I'm gonna drop this weight because it's messing with my health. Two is I want to help people. Okay. I was talking to somebody this past weekend, and they said, "Well, aren't you creating competitors for yourself?" And I had a video out about some guys who took a bunch of our lead guys and went off on their own, and then we eventually cleaned out their business as a junk removal when they failed. And I told him, I said, if that guy would have came to me, even in my own marketplace, I would have had a discussion with Logan and Talon, but I probably would have helped him. I don't know if I would have helped him all the way, but I would have helped him. But what he did, though, is he took our guys and had secret meetings, and he thought since he got our guys, he could do our business model. Well, our business model is based on our reputation. Well, how do you think his reputation started out? Probably not very good. We're in a very small area. Oh, so you stole a bunch of Remove-A-Pros guys. You're a real cool guy. You don't realize that all these contractors are fearful that somebody's going to take their lead guys. That's just dumb. So it's Remove-It-Pros-Demolition, Pure Entrepreneur. This is the Remove It Pros Pure Entrepreneur channel, and I'm talking about the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And I would read it. I would read it. You understand what the enemy's doing. Actually, I learned a lot, but I learned a lot about what I'm not going to let people do to me. I also learned a lot in the sense that a lot of these things they're just good business tactics. They're not dishonest. They're just smart business tactics. And it just made me realize that I'm shining in those areas. So Remove It Pros, Pure Entrepreneur, and we'll see you on the next video.